Today's video focuses on a Jonathan Taylor trade for the Dolphins amid the rumors that the team is interested. Before we get going, we want to hear from you guys at the pinned comment of today's show. Do you want to trade for Jonathan Taylor? Get those votes in right now. Y for yes or N for no. The Colts are allowing Taylor to seek a trade amid his, I'll call it issues with the organization, as he wants to get paid, and the Colts said no, and they have a high asking price, and he's on the PUP list with an ankle injury, which maybe is actually hurt. No one really knows. The Colts claimed his back was injured. Taylor said it wasn't. It's been a disaster in Indy between Taylor, the ownership, the organization, his agent. It's been messy. Now, the Dolphins allegedly are among the teams interested in acquiring Taylor, who I will make note, there have been no offers at this stage for Taylor in a trade. The cost, of course, must be right. This is what Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald sent out kind of moments, really, after the news of the Colts granting Taylor permission to seek a trade. Per a league source, the Dolphins are expected to at least explore a trade for Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, who's given permission to trade. Not sure where this will lead, but it would make sense. He's only 24, a first-team All-Pro, and the NFL rushing leader in 2021. Some reasons why this does make some sense for Miami. You're adding a top-tier talent, something GM Chris Greer has shown a willingness to do in the past. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey. You remain aggressive to win sooner rather than later. You do improve your ground game, and you help out your quarterback. Now, I also saw a claim of, if you're adding Taylor, that makes it better in case Tua goes down. Let's still be honest here. If Tua goes down, I don't think Mike White or Skylar Thompson are you anywhere, even if Jonathan Taylor is your back. But if Tua is healthy, this does elevate your offense beyond what it could currently be, which is already, I think, a pretty good offense, maybe even top 10 in the NFL. Taylor has been one of the best backs in the NFL over the past couple of seasons. Now, last year, he was not as good, and that ankle injury was a problem for the Miami Dolphins, or for the Indianapolis Colts. He wasn't quite right. The team was a mess. The O-line was bad, and as we know in the past, you do need a good O-line to have success on the ground. But if you're ranking, if healthy, the top running backs in the NFL, Taylor's probably somewhere inside that top 5. He is better than what the Dolphins have in Raheem Mostert, in Jeff Wilson, in Devon Achane. Not that those guys are bad, but Taylor's just better. He's a better version of any of those guys, probably even than some of them combined, even from that perspective. So that's why it makes some sense. However, there are some pretty big issues in potentially going out and acquiring Jonathan Taylor, which we will break down here momentarily. But first, we do want to thank you guys for helping us get to 43,000 subscribers here on Dolphins Today. More videos coming, so if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed. If an ad plays on YouTube, take advantage. While the ad plays, go click that sub button right now. All right, problem the first, and it is maybe the biggest of all the problems, is the alleged asking price currently out there for the Colts and Jonathan Taylor. The Colts want a first-round pick, or the accumulation of picks that would equal a first-round pick. Now, I do not understand we're not going to pay Jonathan Taylor big money, but we also want a first-round pick for him. That mindset does not match for me, and I do think the Colts would settle for less. You ask high to begin with type of deal there. So maybe your middle ground is like a second and a fifth. I do think a 2 is what the Colts would be wanting at minimum if they trade Taylor. I do think yes, you can go seek a trade request is something along the lines of, hey, we're going to show you that nobody actually wants you at this moment. I think that's part of the problems with where things currently sit. So maybe a 2 and a 5, maybe a 2 and like a Jeff Wilson makes some sense for all parties involved, but that's still a lot to give up for a running back. So what draft pick are you willing to trade for Taylor? Or if you're going to do like multiple picks, you can do that too, or just combine the values overall. Sound off for me in the comment section. We have Dolphins hats for you guys. The official sideline hats for the Miami Dolphins are available from our friends over at Fanatics. Get yours today, chatsports.com/Dolphins sideline. That's chatsports.com/Dolphins sideline. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's the ones you'll be seeing the players wear this season. Get yours today. Again, chatsports.com/Dolphins sideline. Problem the second, the contract cost. Yeah, you got the trade cost involved and just the money of what Jonathan Taylor is asking for right now. Taylor is currently, and we don't have the exact details, but we can probably get the general ballparks here. But Taylor is seeking a top-end running back contract in a market that has only taken away the top-end contracts so far in the past calendar year or so. A market that once featured Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Joe Mixon, all near the top of the market is no longer. It has changed significantly. The biggest contract given out on a per-year basis was Dalvin Cook getting a one-year, $7 million deal. These are the highest paid backs in the NFL currently. And you can count, the franchise tag guys, James Conner from a few years ago, Christian McCaffrey got traded. Saints fans don't want to admit it. Alvin Kamara has not been that great since he got paid. He's kind of fallen off, and he's suspended. The Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb contracts have been fine. Aaron Jones took a restructure. You're batting like 20% of these contracts being good, which is a shockingly low figure there. Now, the per-year money is, I think at minimum, Taylor wants that $12.5 million deal, which is probably okay, depending on the guaranteed money. And the guaranteed money is an issue here because dudes ain't getting it. Derrick Henry got $25.5 million guaranteed on his contract. That's like 2 years of the franchise tag. That's it. Miles Sanders got 13 this offseason. That's the most guaranteed money outside of the rookie contracts. There are 3 rookie running back contracts among the highest paid backs from a guaranteed perspective. And the issue with running backs is that they don't normally last all the way through their second deals. They sometimes fall off kind of quickly. Do you want to be giving a bunch of guaranteed money to a running back in this market? I'm not sure you do. You just saw some teams learn their lesson, such as the Dallas Cowboys. To a certain extent, the Bengals kind of learned it. I think the Vikings have regrets. Do you want to be the next one to do it? In a market, by the way, that next offseason could feature a ton of different backs who are going to be available. Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, all guys who they certainly could be franchise tagged. I doubt all of them get franchise tagged. And if they don't get tagged, well, all of a sudden they hit the open market. And if a couple of these guys hit the open market, do you want to pay the top running back? Don't pay the third back. Would you rather pay a massive deal for Jonathan Taylor or maybe gamble on a one-year deal for very cheaply for a DeAndre Swift, or maybe Pollard wants to sign for, $7 million. He just gets the Miles Sanders deal. All of a sudden, you could pay half the cost in theory for a back and save a ton of money in the process. So would you give Jonathan Taylor the huge contract he's likely searching for? We'll set the over-under at, 4 years, $13 million, and about half of that guaranteed. Would you do it? 1 for yes, 2 for no in the comment section. Problem the third, the other deals that are coming down the pipeline for this Miami Dolphins team. There is money in the banana stand. You can always create more salary cap space as needed, as required, as desired. But should you do that is the real question NFL teams face. Christian Wilkins is going to get probably around $20 million per year, if not more. You want to pay him. Robert Hunt, Connor Williams are eligible for new deals in the near future. Zach Sealer wants to do. Are you going to pay Tua? Because the way the quarterback market is, that's anywhere from $40 to $55 million right now per year. Now, you can get funny money in there, but you want to pay Javon Hall and Jalen Phillips next year, Jalen Waddle as well. So those deals are coming down the pipeline. Do you want to invest, 12, 13, 14, 15 million bucks in a back? I don't know if that's a good business decision. Problem the fourth, is running back actually a huge need for this team? They were interested in Dalvin Cook at the right cost. They're interested in Jonathan Taylor at the right cost because you can survive with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson and Devon Achane in an offense that's still going to want to get the ball in the hands of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle first and foremost. That is what is important. Mostert and Wilson both ran for over 800 yards last year. Both guys are actually pretty solid players when they're healthy. Of course, if health is your biggest concern, Taylor's on the PUP list. Now, it's his ankle, not his back, allegedly, and maybe it's just a holding in scenario, but I think you have to acknowledge the fact that maybe JT isn't healthy, which you're going to trade for and pay an injured back. That's a huge red flag when you have two guys that are good, Wilson and Mostert, when healthy themselves. Plus, wouldn't we rather invest our assets into the offensive line? Now, finding an offensive lineman available is a much different conversation, don't get me wrong, but maybe you would want to save that $12 million in case someone hits the open market again next offseason and you want to try to sign somebody. Maybe there's a left guard that comes open and makes you feel better about your front if you can find one, whether that's this offseason or maybe more likely next year. So once again, if you have not answered the question from the start of today's show, do you want to trade for Jonathan Taylor? If you haven't already, head down to the pinned comment, get that vote in. Y for yes, N for no.